Hey everyone, this is Adrian from my channel Random Drop. If you like our content, make sure to subscribe. We're more than halfway to 1,000 subscribers. From there, this channel's quality and content can grow quite significantly, and I hope that you stick around. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Into the Mist opens with you checking in on the people of Alexandria. Alphino mentions slowly more and more people are regaining their memories of their lost loved ones, finding comfort that people like Calyx won't be able to manipulate their fear and ignorance again. Now that things are settled in Tyrol, he and Alize have come to the decision to leave, planning to inform the other nations about Alexandria on their way back to Garlemald. Although he's still worried about Calyx's summoning ritual, it's clear there was Ascian involvement on the 9th, but is unsure to what extent. Y'shtola mentions that she has treated the enthralled and those still afflicted with Levin sickness. She is now free to devote all of her attention to an investigation on the matter. Alphino's mind is then at ease, knowing she's on the case, and leaves it to her. While discussing, you're contacted via Link Pearl by Erenville. He simply says his time in Tyrol is at its end. He's at the harbor in Tyrol, ready to depart, and wishes you safe travels. But before he can make his escape, he yells in surprise as Wookalamat takes over the call. She says she's detained the fugitive before he can sneak away, without saying a proper goodbye to everyone. The twins then decide to expedite their plans and join Erenville on his departure, since they're going the same way. While they head out to pack their things, Krile and Graha announce that they're staying in Tyrol with Y'shtola to continue studying the key. Your party decides to head over to the back rooms to pick up Shale for the farewell gathering. She mentions that the files in the recently unearthed Containment Complex 1029 are encrypted, and any new information it has on the Key Between Worlds will take some time to decrypt. At the Tuliyola Harbor, you and your friends gather one final time and reminisce about their time in Tyrol and Alexandria. Wookalamat thanks her friends for helping the naive claimant she was at the time. She and Tuliyola owe your party a debt she can never repay, but she will try, promising her aid if the time comes. Sphene echoes the sentiment and deeply thanks Alize for curing the Levin sickness that ailed her people for centuries. Erenville jokingly apologizes for introducing you to Wookalamat and dragging you into her mess. He says he feels no remorse, but only gratitude. Without you, he would never have had the chance to say goodbye, nor make his vow to explore every corner of the world to see what we haven't seen. You and your remaining companions wave goodbye to the twins and Erenville. Wookalamat has to get back to work, but is saddened the adventures in Tyrol are truly over for now, but she will remember their time together for the rest of her days. Next, Krile suggests the rest of you should discuss on what steps to take. During the conversation, the topic of Krile's origins comes up. Sphene relates to her, saying in order to come to terms with her circumstances, she had to live and breathe it before being able to accept her new reality. Krile agrees and wishes to embrace hers by learning more about the Malala people. But with investigation on the key currently at a standstill until Shale's done with her work, she asks to find a different avenue of inquiry into the history of the 9th. The others agree to help Krile, and Sphene has an idea. She explains that Alexandria was once part of a landmass known as the Mist Continent. The continent was left in ruins in the wake of the storm surge, Alexandria being the sole survivor of the devastation. During the calamity, she, Otis, and his knights attempted to evacuate the people of the Mist Continent to Alexandria, but they couldn't save everyone. But despite the environment outside of the dome, Alexandrian systems showed few souls who ventured outside into the lands beyond. This comes as a surprise to Krile and your friends, as she thought the land was scoured of life and it would be impossible to survive outside of the barrier. Shale agrees with Krile's theory, but if anyone did survive out there, she believes it would have been an unimaginable trial. But Sphene believes those who journeyed beyond the barrier must have been going somewhere, maybe a refuge that weathered the storm surge, rebuilt over the intervening 4 centuries. Y'shtola notes, due to the Alexandrians' displacement into the source proper, they never had cause or the opportunity to survey the remaining continent. Krile believes their best chance to explore the 9th begins at living memory, as it is still physically in the 9th, floating above in the sky, where Alexandria used to be. Shale believes the Everkeep's mechanical soldiers would know a way to descend down into the 9th, and at living memory, your party is able to convince the mechanical caretakers to use one of Living Memory's airships to descend to the Alexandrian crater. There, the dragon scale talismans activate to protect your companions from the etheric imbalance in the area. Each stolen notes, while the 9th is not in as bad of a state as the 13th, the imbalance is quite severe. Krile takes a moment to take in the sight of her birthplace, the world where Levin reigns. Your party members take in the devastation and notice there are no structures of any survivors nearby. If there are any, they would be at the nearby city of Treno, a neutral city-state built on the harbor, the Mist Continent's nexus of trade during the war. Sphene mentions that it was in Treno that the Milala people first found a home in her world. While the population spread and grew, most continue to feel a strong connection to the city. Sadly, the airship is unable to take you further. Sphene recommends a path through a nearby cave system that should take you past the mountain and near Treno's location. Through the mountain, you pass a not-so-abandoned electrope mine. It's clear to your party as you pass through that someone has been mining electrope somewhat recently, but the mine is currently filled with monsters. On the other side of the mountain, you come to the site of the city of Treno, still standing, covered by a large magical dome that looks damaged. And at the city's gate, you dispatch a monster that broke through the barrier. As you travel further in, you find Milala and Treno citizens battling Levin monsters. You give the people your aid and fight off the largest of the monsters at the city's center. And after the battle, a voice speaks over the city's intercoms and announces the perimeter has been cleared, thanking your party before telling the city's residents to get to work clearing the rest of the city. Krile picks up that your party was being watched since entering the city. The rest of your friends are impressed that the city endures, considering the destruction outside. Sphene notices that Treno's barrier is very similar to that of the Alexandrians, although not as quite as effective, summarizing that incidents like the recent breach may be common. As you take in this discovery, the mayor and the people of Treno approach your party.
I am Krile, the mayor of Treno. Allow me to welcome you to our city. And thank you for the assistance with our little monster problem just now. Might I ask your name, miss? Though I have an inkling I know it already.
But of course, I am Sphene of Alexandria.
As I thought. It truly beggars belief. I once heard the strangest of reports from one of ours who went to Alexandria, you see. That despite the intervening years, the Queen had not aged a day. And sure enough, I'd swear you'd stepped out of an old oil portrait mere moments ago. Though you must forgive me if this takes some getting used to. It is an honor to meet you, Your Majesty. I look forward to hearing the tale from your own lips. I imagine it won't be an easy one to tell. But please. What happened to Alexandria?
I see. From your perspective, it must have looked as though we were wiped from the face of the star.
One day, we lost all contact with our people in Alexandria. Scouting party sent to investigate reported that not only the barrier, but Alexandria itself was gone. Nary a stone to mark where it had stood.
What you must have gone through, not knowing what became of us. But know that Alexandria yet survives, albeit in a distant land. Her and her people. I can tell you the whole tale from beginning to end, but first, might I ask your permission to remain in Treno for a time?
Of course you can. You and your companions have already done us a great service, and are more than welcome to enjoy our hospitality. Now, how about we continue this at Town Hall? We needn't keep standing in the middle of the street.
While Y'shtola and Sphene bring the mayor of Treno up to speed, you, G'raha, and Krile take a tour of the city, asking the locals questions, while giving a helping hand to the mayor's grandson, Lumil, at her recommendation. While healing the people's wounds, Krile learned that the Milala's curative magics appear identical to Sphene's, meaning either her tutor was Milala as well, or the art spread throughout the Ninth. G'raha learned how Treno received supplies. It's revealed that other settlements do exist on the Mist Continent. A rail system facilitates the flow of goods between them, although the shipments are far and few between. But due to the recent barrier breach, a failsafe was triggered, stopping the train at a midway point until operations can resume. There are sea routes, but they're rarely used. Often, like now, Treno must make do with what it has. Krile notes, in addition to this constant scarcity, much of Treno suffers from leaven sickness and are frequently under attack by monsters. But everyone she's spoken to seems undaunted by their hardships, not only surviving, but living happily in spite of it all. When one believes in a better future, there is not to be done but build to it, stone by stone, until a city rises. While taking in the city, Lumil walks up behind your party depressed, saying he's misplaced something important. To his surprise, Krile's carrying the item he lost. Told by a local to deliver it to him, Lumil explains that the device tracks the ether of creatures that breach the barrier's perimeter. He attempts to show it off to G'raha, but to his dismay, it seems as though he broke it when he dropped it earlier. He then begins to panic, saying he was gonna be killed by someone. But he quickly has an idea and invites you to meet his sister, Ayane, an electrope engineer, hoping to avoid punishment while guests are around when he breaks the news. Ayane's furious as they're running low on electrope and can't keep fixing the device. She apologizes about her brother using them as his personal servants. Krile asks her not to take things the wrong way, as she explains that your party wanted to help so that they might learn what life is like in Treno, and with Ayane's expertise, learn how the city utilizes electrope. She's happy to answer any question she has. G'raha points out that she mentioned that Treno had little electrope to spare. Ayane then explains that they never have much as they need. She often digs through scrap heap in order to fix vital devices that break down. Repairing the barrier should be the biggest priority, but they simply don't have enough. Lumil mentions it will only get worse the longer they're denied access to the mine, as it's currently filled with monsters. You reveal to him that on your way to Treno, your party cleared out the mine of monsters in one fell swoop. The brother and sister can't believe what they're hearing and begin to jump in joy. Lumil immediately makes a plan to get the mine operational again, while his sister begins repair preparations. G'raha volunteers to be Lumil's bodyguard, while you and Krile work with Ayane on the repairs. After you're done with your assigned task, Ayane notices that Krile has not returned from hers. You head to her location and ask the locals if they've seen a woman in a yellow hood. An older Milalan gentleman says she saved him earlier, and they both struck up a conversation, saying he quite enjoyed telling her about the city. When they were done talking, he noticed that she had a touch of melancholy, and isn't sure why. He believes now his words wouldn't help, and reckons she would welcome the company of a good friend.
Ah, were you looking for me? I only intended to sit down for a moment, but I must have lost track of time. Will you lend me your ear? The Source and the Ninth. Someday I will have to decide which one to call home. The thought has lingered like a storm cloud in my mind. I've tried to ignore it, remind myself that we have more important matters to contend with, but I cannot keep drifting between these worlds forever. When I first learned the truth of my past, I assumed it would have no bearing on my future. The Source was my home, and the students of Baldessian my purpose. But after meeting my parents, it struck me that to simply choose the Source would be to abandon them. And not only them, but a home I could have loved, had my life gone as it should have. That is why I had to learn more of this place, and the me I could have been. I feel even less certain than before. Though we are strangers to them, these people have welcomed us as if we are their own. It's like speaking with old friends. And knowing now the challenges they face, what would it say about me if I just left them behind and returned to the Source? Is that who I am? Who I was meant to be? Or is this where I belong?
After lending an ear, the both of you head back to Ayane. Krile mentions she noticed that the structures at the center of the city are much larger than those at the edge. She explains that Treno predates the Malala's arrival. The mayor at the time took her people in and gave them leave to establish their own residential quarter. Most of the other races evacuated during the storm surge. During its closing days, many believed it would be safer to head to Alexandria, but a Malala who served as a tutor in the royal household returned to Treno with knowledge of the barrier's design. Krile then asks Ayane a more personal question. She explains that they uncovered records pertaining to the Malala's past. She goes over how, on the Source, a calamity froze their homeland, and many were not content to leave it behind. They even tried to use that same power to go back, but the Malala found the way closed to them. She then asks Ayane if the path back to her original world and homeland opened, would she go back? Ayane gives her question some thought, and she says she would love to see her people's original home for herself, but it wouldn't be going back, as her home is here, the rundown, beat up, beautiful city of Treno. She then tells Krile some words of wisdom passed down from their ancestors, and explains that no matter what comes or how hard it gets, her people will choose joy over fear and stand together. That boundless optimism and communal spirit, that is Treno. There's nowhere else she'd rather be. Krile then takes in her words, and a bit later, Y'shtola and Sphene join you. Sphene explains that she is given a brief account on the situation in Alexandria, as well as events involving the key to Miyali. Miyali was most interested in the key and seems to have known about the relic long before you and your friends did, and wishes to discuss the matter with everyone present. Moments later, Grahatio and Lumo arrive proud to announce the mine is back up and running. But before your party can head back to the mayor, an emergency announcement is made across the city.
All citizens, please proceed to emergency shelter. Repeat, please proceed to emergency shelter. The Doomtrain is approaching. Repeat, please proceed proceed to emergency shelters.
The Doomtrain. Wasn't that one of Lindblom's weapons of war?
You know of it.
I've never seen it myself, but according to Zelenia, it was an armored vehicle used to transport war beasts to the front. In order to prevent them from running wild ere their deployment, a powerful arcane entity was housed in the engine.
The end of the war didn't slow it one bit. Quite the contrary. Fueled by lightning ether, it's been speeding across the continent ever since. The Doomtrain and its beasts bring death and destruction everywhere it goes. It's a veritable calamity on rails. It passed near Treno some years ago, claiming many lives, including our parents. I must go and repair the barrier as swiftly as possible. Without it, we haven't got a chance.
You can't be serious! You'll never finish in time, and you'll be right in its path.
I have to try. For Treno.
Yane, no!
Lumo feels powerless and asks Fiend and Graha to keep his sister safe. Y'shtola wishes to delay the Doomtrain's advance, while you wish to face it head on. Lumo thinks you're both mad, but is convinced by your confidence. He concocts a plan to commandeer a nearby freight train outside the city and use it as a platform to fight off the Doomtrain. With his knowledge and your strength, the two of you derail the Metal Serpent. Meanwhile, Krile and Y'shtola add their firepower to the city's defense. During the battle, Krile's attacked by a behemoth, but you and the rest of your friends show up in the nick of time to help her. Together, with your combined strength, you defend the city of Treno.
I must say, that was an incredible performance.
Flatterer.
What is it?
The barrier is restored. The people of Treno may rest easy once more.
They're safe. All of them. Alila? Krile, does the name Alila mean aught to you?
My mother. Did you know her?
I'm sorry, my dear. We should get you patched up before aught else. Alila's story and that of the key are one and the same. After you've rested and recovered, I'll tell you the tale. You have no cause to fret, I promise you. While Lummel forgot to give the order, bless him. There's work to be done ere we can celebrate. First and foremost, we must see to any injured. Come and find me at Town Hall when you're ready.
Without further delay, then.
You needn't mind me. My injuries are far from severe.
But your curiosity is another matter, is it not? Your feet will deliver you to Krile all the swifter if you can actually walk on them.
Ere I begin my tale, there is something about our family that you need to understand. We are descendants of the Speakers of Eld, and I myself am the latest to inherit the role. But even as we do our utmost to ensure our people's welfare in our adopted home, it has ever been our duty to find a means to return whence we came. Alas, our ancestral treasure never did answer our prayers. And that left my elder sister, the previous speaker, mired in doubt. It was then, when she was at her most vulnerable, that preservation reached out to her.
We have heard this part before, from my parents' memories. My mother was your sister.
She was, which makes you an heir to the Speaker's legacy. The last message I received from your parents said that in order to thwart Preservation's design, they must send away both their daughter and the key. I now understand what became of the former. As for the latter, through conversing with your friends, I gleaned with whom it currently resides.
And is it your wish that we give it back?
We Milala are the people of Treno now. Here is where we've put down our roots. The moment Alila relinquished the key, she relinquished our claim to it as well. But be that as it may, my sister gave up not only her life, but her darling daughter to prevent its misuse. It is my duty to ensure that its new bearer is worthy. So, Should it answer your call as it never did ours, how would you use the key's power? For some, that might be a self-serving end. But your deeds are proof that I needn't worry. And what's more, there's your friendship with my niece. I dare say that speaks well of your character.
By the by, do you have any records pertaining to the key here in Treno?
Would that we did. But Delilah took everything with her when she joined Preservation. If aught remains, it would be in Alexandria.
And so we find ourselves returned to our original course.
Shale may have made some progress. Perhaps it's time to bring our visit to an end. But by that, I don't mean to say that I don't feel welcome in Treno. You've all been so kind and accommodating. And in many ways, it's my hometown. It's just that, well,
It's all right, my dear. It is true that some feel bound by blood or birthplace, but I don't believe that your parents would have wanted that for you. They devoted their lives to understanding the key so that future generations would not be burdened by it. As we have chosen Treno, so too should you choose the place you call home. A place where you can bloom and grow with fearless joy.
I will.
We must give you a proper send-off, though. Wait for us by the gate, will you? A word of caution, Keeper of the Key. As you know, it is a relic that has traveled across centuries and worlds, passing through countless hands. Oft beckoning to those ruled by ambition or avarice. Indeed, some have wondered if it chooses its master. But I believe differently. I believe that some inexorable force, call it fate, if you will, ushers it from one bearer to the next. Be wary, for fate's regard now falls upon you.
Afterwards, your party gathers to say their goodbyes before leaving the city. Lumo, Ayane, and the people of Treno thank you for defeating the Doomtrain and helping restore the city's shield. Excited by the future, now that they're able to mine more electrope, Miyali thanks Krile for coming home and bringing her mother's resolve and spirit with her, feeling as though she was able to see her again through her niece. She knows her home is far, but asks that she comes back once in a while. Krile promises that she'll come back and plans to bring the cure to Levin sickness alongside her. Your party then heads back to Alexandria to update Gaussen and Shale on your discoveries. Shale believes that it's very possible that preservation has all the historical data pertaining to the key, but it will still take some time to decrypt it. While Y'shtola and Shale go over what has been decrypted so far, G'raha suggests you take a break, and Krile means to learn more about Porxies with Y'shtola's help. And she says she intends to visit her family whenever possible, but her home will always be the source. There's nowhere she'd rather be.
Oh, my poor heart. I only meant to steal a glimpse while we were in the area. But our eyes definitely met, didn't they? Oh, that's not ideal. Such fearsome instincts to perceive me as a threat in an instant. But I shouldn't be surprised. It's the Source's vaunted hero, after all.
Halmarut!
Oh, dear me! Oh.
One need hardly be the warrior of light to notice you. You're far from subtle. As if the horns and scales weren't enough, you insist upon dressing for another century. Those clothes must be as old as I am. Where is your robe?
You mean the robe that practically announces me as an Ascian? Not that I don't intend to reveal that detail, but it will be at a time of my choosing. Besides, if one of us can't help but draw the eye, it's you. Oh, Calyx, how you've grown. Smaller, that is, and surprisingly cute-ish.
Put me down.
Jests aside, we will be departing the 9th all too soon. If you wish to say your goodbyes, I could find you a vessel and mold it to match your preferred presentation.
Don't you dare. I will not debase myself by occupying a living body ever again. And in any case, to travel the rift as you do requires the shedding of one's flesh, does it not?
I apologize if I upset you. Your understanding is, in essence, correct. The magics cannot bring a vessel through the rift. Ergo, you must discard it and assume a form of pure ether until you reach the other side. However, that doesn't mean you need discard everything like so much refuse. Using fissures such as this, one can easily send small amounts of matter between reflections. Matter such as your archived memories.
All the more reason to remain as I am. At present, I could pass through a fissure myself. And as this form suffices for surveying the material realm, I see no reason to expend effort searching for a replacement. I wish only to observe. That is enough.
Very well. I shan't press. Nevertheless, odd though you may look, I would encourage you to bid farewell to those to whom you have attachment. For now that you failed, unless our hero changes course, this world is doomed to die.
I had hoped to banish death from their lives. Why should it come to all, whether they will it or no? Why must any accept this burden and grief? It was never about any one person. So no, there are none with whom I would exchange fond farewells. But so long as mankind yet survives, I can hold fast to my faith. That my life's work might again bring someone's salvation.
Hold fast you must, as we press ever onward. For soon it begins, and every world shall tremble. The Winterers must be prepared to outlast the great withering to come.
That's your ominous prediction, is it?
No, it's nature's proclamation. Can't you hear it? It echoes in the silence, left by the will of the star.